constant thoughts about what has to be done, being overcrowded with different jobs to do, and not being able to think straight are all signs of what we know to be called stress. According to dictionary.com, stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Through research I have done, I will discuss why we get stress, the symptoms, and what it does to our bodies, as well as how we can overcome it. Let's start by going through what we know about stress and why we get this feeling of being stressed out. NetDoctor.com states that we are all born with an instinctive stress response. When we get into different situations, stress hormones are released into the bloodstream. Stress is usually thought of as a bad emotion, but it can potentially be a good asset to us as well. During what is called the flight or fight syndrome, stress is released, as well as adrenaline, which can cause a person to perform things they have never done before. The stress response is the body's way of protecting you, helpguide.org states. When working properly, it helps you stay focused, energetic, and alert. Overactive stress hormones, on the other hand, can be activated at any time, like in everyday life if something doesn't go as planned. With no release of these hormones, they keep working, which is why there are so many people who lose their tempers at the slightest occasion, or people who show signs of road rage, for example. Beyond a certain point, stress stops being helpful and starts causing major damage to your health, your mood, and even your quality of life. Now that we know a little bit about why we get stressed, let's take a look on how it can affect our bodies both physically and emotionally. If someone is more likely to get stressed out very easily, it can actually end up leading to some major health problems. Chronic stress can even disrupt all of the symptoms in your body. According to healthguide.org, it can even rewire the brain, leaving you more vulnerable to anxiety, depression, and other health problems. They also state the more your emergency stress system is activated, the easier it becomes to trigger and the harder it becomes to shut off. Stress can easily creep up on anyone, and it is important to be aware of the symptoms and signs. For example, memory problems can occur, frequent sickness can happen, feeling overwhelmed constantly, or neglecting responsibilities as a whole. Now let's get into some of the treatments for stress. Being able to recognize stress is the first step to overcoming it. It may not be possible to remove stress from our lives completely, but managing stress can help immensely. Start by taking deep breaths and getting into a daily routine. Also, writing things down is a good way to manage your stress. Dealing with worries right away so things don't get to be too big of a problem is really recommended. We experience stress as a part of our daily lives, and sometimes it can get too overwhelming for us. Knowing why we get stressed out, what it does to our bodies, and how we can manage better stress is key to living a good and healthy life. Although stress can be a good or a bad thing for us, being aware that it is there and can potentially be dangerous for us both physically and emotionally is the best thing to try to do. Everyone gets stressed at times, sometimes more than others, and handling it the right way with the right techniques is the best thing to do. It does take a little time, it will take a little thinking, and it does take a little effort, but in the end, it is worth it for the betterment of our bodies as a whole.